What would you say that the preferred weapon or set of weapons is for Trancata?
Well, the stick, of course, the single stick.
The single stick?
Single stick.
Empty hand in the other hand?
And then espada y daga.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, the double stick. And then a lot of empty hands, a lot of dagger work, a lot of empty hands, a lot of grappling, the upright and down on the ground, a lot of counter reversals, a lot of machete, bolo, blade fighting, a lot of disarming sticks, even firearms and swords, and using your feet to disarm weapons while lying on the ground, stuff like that.
Does Trancata have a unusual weapon that's not found in any of the other arts?
Yeah, like one, this ES stick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he used that a lot. But Trancata has a lot of weapons.
Now the S stick, how long was it from the top of the S to the bottom of the S?
It's like the height of your hip.
And it was, the S's were big enough because you'd use it to hook the neck and the arms.
Yeah. Yeah, another one is the flail. Grandmaster Haliki is using a flail too. It's the regular stick with a chain in between, and then the daga is on the end of that stick.
So like a mace, but with a dagger on the end.
Yeah, that's one of his favorite weapons too. And then there's the chain, the kaburata, on the waist, short chain.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that weighted at both ends like the Japanese chain, or is it just a chain?
No, you use it for topping, hitting, locking.
Right, but the Japanese, their chain art has the ends of the chain have heavier weights.
Oh yeah.
So does it have a heavy weight on this?
Heavy weight too. Yeah. The use of the rope, the use of the sickle, the use of the palm stick, the use of the whips, use of the handkerchief, the use of the belt, the scarf, use of the cape, how to use your shoes, how to use lime and pepper. In modern times, I use coins now. Used to be lime and pepper.
Right.
And many training methods like, but this is from the other teacher. Grandmaster Bias is another one of my teacher.
And was he part of Trancata?
No, he was not the part. He was a Largamano, medium range, excellent, super grappler, dumog, boxer, fencer, hunter, a good bladesman. He was a blades instructor for the guerrilla Second World War in Aklan. And he had a factory of blades. He likes multiple fighting, anti-swarming. That's where I learned a lot of my blade play too from this guy. He taught in the mountains of Panay where the pagans are. Same with another teacher of mine in the salon who taught there too. And all of them have been tested in actual duels, actual fights and stuff like that. So their art is really something that survived all the trials. But he taught a different system, mainly long to medium range. He's a small guy, but he's a fanatic. Every 4 o'clock in the morning he would wake up and train. Even if there's a storm, he'll do it. And he used heavy bags full of sand and stones. He knows how to hit pressure point because I think he knows some hilot.
Some what?
Hilot, the Filipino massage and bone setting.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
I think he knows it. And he knows some psychic stuff too.
Okay, so since you brought it up, how old were you when you were first introduced to some of the non-physical aspects of Kali?
Oh, I was already in college.
In college?
Yeah,
now, is Trancata's non-physical stuff unique to Trancata, or is it typical for other styles of Kali?
No, orasyon, the psychic Filipino psychic stuff is if it's a right master and grandmaster, they all know it.
So
so it's passed down from the grandmaster and master to the disciple.
So is there a truncata version of it, or are they pretty much all the same from one style of Kali to the other?
No, well, each has a different libretta or book, and most of it is they do power feeding on certain objects like stones and leaves and coconut shells and stuff like that, and then they power feed that with prayers, and then so the procedure is the same, but maybe they're using different power words.
Okay, now you mentioned a book.
Yeah, there's the healing book, and there's the defense book, and there's the offense book.
Now, does this book is there only one copy of it?
Each master or grandmaster have their own book.
So you would have your own then too.
Oh yeah.
Or is it passed down from instructor to student?
No, they give it to you. You copy it or they copy it for you.
I see.
Mine is a collection from different teachers.
You told me a story a long time ago, and I'm just trying to figure out which one of these instructors it is. That one of your instructors used to drive you around in the truck, and you and the other students would have to do their Kali on the back of the truck without falling off. Do you remember that?
One of those obscure instructors I had. Yeah.
So that's not one of the instructors you mentioned.
No, they had many. Many of them I even forgot now their names.
Okay, how about, did you have any instructors that solely dealt with long range and not even medium and short range, but everything was long range?
Oh yeah, there was one guy who was a bolo fighter, and I studied bolo fighting with him too. He was selling a meat. He cooks meat and then goes to the barriers and sells them in pails like this, and he has a long piece of bamboo he carries them. Yeah, and he's one of the best I've ever seen. He's the only one I've seen that does leaping attack with a sword.
Leaping?
Yeah, he leaps into the air.
Mm.
Yeah, he's the only one I've seen who does that. Yeah, I think what was his name? Sulpicio, I think. What was his name? It was Sulpicio. Yeah. Lopez saw him. I thought there'd be a challenge match, but Lopez shook his hand and he said, "This is a good style that you know."
Now, did you ever meet an instructor that what he was teaching was so obscure that you just said, "I can't handle this," and you just didn't bother training with him? I mean, so
what do you mean so
obscure? So totally different from anything else anyone else was doing.
Well, if he did that, I'd be studying with him.
Okay, so then I guess who taught the most obscure techniques out of all your instructors? The weirdest or the most unusual?
I'd say Nohalis.
And what did he teach?
Well, the inner part of Trankata Alapon, like for example the secret baton technique that he developed.
Mm-hmm.
It's very unique. Yeah, I think he's the only one who does that. Yeah, and he taught I believe maybe only 3 guys really completed that system in the baton. Yeah. It took me many years to do that.
When did you start teaching Kali here? In 84?
No, 85, maybe 86, I don't know.
And that's when you hooked up at David's school?
Yeah. No. I was teaching in a dance studio.
Now, did you approach them, or did they ask you to teach them?
No, I just wanted to rent a room there in a dance studio. So I was there for a short while.
And when did you meet Ken Cohen then?
Through David. Ken was coming to Canada. He was married to a Canadian before, Filipino-Canadian. And then somebody introduced me. David came to my apartment and he said, "Oh, I know Ichiro, so I showed Ichiro." So I said, "Here," they say, "I know Gochokon," so I showed him Gochokon. And then I showed him an indoor part of Gochokon, and he was amazed. And so he became a private student. Same with Ken.
So when you were in the Philippines, you said you went to Japan?
Oh, that was on like a survey trip sponsored by the Asian Productivity Organization.
So how old were you when you went there?
Oh, that was adult already. It was
Adult?
nothing to do with martial arts.
But you went to see a
Just with a
when you were
group.
there?
Yeah, when I was there, I went to see the karate club of Kankin Toyama. I think that was the name of the Grandmaster. And then I went to see. We went to the, what is that university? Not Tokyo, the other one. The private university, the counterpart of Tokyo University.
Don't know.
And we went to see the Aikido school there. Then we went to see the dojo of Yeshiva. We wanted to see Masuyama. It's hard to go see. You had to have an appointment.
Did you go to the Kodokan when you were there?
No, I had no time for the Kodokan. Then we went to Taiwan, passed by Taiwan, saw some people there in Hong Kong. And that's about it.
So did you ever go to Indonesia or
No,
Thailand or any of that when you were in the Philippines?
I'd like to go.
So you've never been there yet?
No. Especially Indonesia and Thailand. I'd like to go.
Now, when you were in the Philippines, I heard a story that I'm sure was a huge exaggeration, but that you bought a little rowboat and rowed from island to island studying all the different styles of Kali.
That's one of those
Giant stories?
Giant stories. No, I go different places. If I hear a good teacher, I go.
Was there any teacher that was like living up in the mountains that was very hard to find?
Oh yeah, there was one guy there that I had to go up there, and he was living in a barrio, and but I knew some of his relatives, so I had a good introduction. He had a good system too.
What was his system?
Medium range.
Medium range?
Yeah. Then I met a guy who was doing summer style. I think his name was Poloy, Mang Poloy, and we were using guava sticks. He was with the US Navy, I think, and the Second World War, that's where he was assigned in that island. He learned it. Then I met a taxi driver who knows summer lady style, circling. And then there was Ponso, another Largamano master. And there was Supring, the boxer wrestler, Scrimador. Then there's the bouncer, waiter bouncer, Mancardo. Oh, he's also excellent. He comes from another island, Triciete style. Then there's Fred the barber. I learn from him too. Whenever I can, I meet them. I just go for it. Then there's the Balintawak guy, Toroy. I learned from him for many years too. Then in Manila, I learned from Grandmaster Ilosistimo. Way back when Ilosistimo was just starting to teach again in Manila. With Tony Diego, with Julie Romo, and all those guys, Ricketts and all those guys. And I also learned, what else did I learn? Oh, so many scrimators. Bias, I learned from Bias.